speaker, well known to most of us in the IMA, Prof. Yusuf Dangor, who's been giving us teaching microbiology for the last 2 decades to most of our students. But today he's going to launch his book on the inner and spiritual dimensions of Hajj and give us some insights into the deeper and finer aspects of this very noble ibadah of Hajj. Prof. Dangor.
Bismillah wa salamu ala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I greet you all with the blessings of truth, beauty, love and peace. I first and foremost need to take the opportunity of thanking the IMA for allowing me to launch my book, Alhamdulillah, and also giving the opportunity to present some aspect of the book so that you may be well aware of the different dimensions as well as the spiritual dimensions of Umrah and Hajj. So this beautiful journey many of you may have experienced. It's not a race, it's a very profound relationship that one undertakes for the love of Muhammad alayhi salam, Ibrahim alayhi salam, and obviously not forgetting Bibi Hajara. So again, I'm going to be talking about the different aspects of the rituals in terms of the inner essence, the esoteric level that makes the Hajj become alive. Now, just from the very beginning, it has been years and years of planning and research on this particular topic, and it was alhamdulillah, with the grace, fazl karam and rahmat of Allah, that I started writing this book in the first week of January. And I completed the book mid-May. So again, it has been a very quick procedure, but the secrets of the inner dimensions have been revealed. I've observed that the Hujjaj and the Hajjis were going through the rituals of Hajj without being aware of the inner and spiritual dimensions. Let me also mention that the rituals are important as they evoke a very spectrum of emotions in the individual, such as gratitude, humility, patience and euphoria. It also provides a very strong, meaningful connection with Islamic history. But I need to echo what the late Maulana Fansur Rahman Ansari, when he blessed our shores way back in 1970, he made a profound, or rather described Hajj as a very profound and significant aspect of one of the rituals, where he mentioned that it is an institution, Hajj is an institution, where the demonstration of love, loyalty, and hardship that one undertakes reaches its climax. So alhamdulillah, this is the theme of what we're going to be talking about: loyalty, love, and struggle that one undertakes during either Umrah or even Hajj. So alhamdulillah, okay, so those who have been there, it's such a unique opportunity, and again I will be addressing the rituals, and because of the time constraint, I will only highlight one or two inner and spiritual dimensions of Hajj. Now, the book itself has 3 main chapters. I'm addressing the Umrah, followed by the 5 days of Hajj, and finally, you go and pay your respect to Allah's most beloved Muhammad alayhi salam. Now, the Hajj, the journey begins where your loyalty reaches its climax when you take off your worldly clothing and you go into the true piece of white cloth. You remove those clothing that you have been wearing throughout your life, greed and arrogance, pride, aggression, etc. And you put on this garb of purity, expressing the climax of loyalty to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when you present yourself in front of the Kaaba. Now, again, one of the most fascinating and beautiful experience is when we make tawaf around the Kaaba. We circumambulate, going seven times in an anti-clockwise direction, reciting what we have to do. But what is it there for you and me that we are going around this Kaaba, reciting that, and the climax is you are demonstrating your love and attachment to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, when you love somebody, you want to be close to the person. You want to go around and round and round the person. And I've used an analogy of a moth going around the flame continuously and eventually trying to die and be consumed by the flame, as one would do when one going around the Kaaba, in order to attain peace and tranquility with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is a fascinating aspect of part of the Hajj as well as the Umrah. Now, the ladies will be very surprised to know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen a black Abyssinian woman to be a model of trust and patience for all times to come. Remember, Bibi Hajra was looking for water. She had Ismail with her. But when we are performing this ritual, we have got no Ismail. We are not looking for water. So what is it for us to move 7 times between the 2 peaks? And it was her trust and patience in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed her with water from the earth called Zamzam water. For me and you, in life, we will have to go through many challenges and sacrifices and struggles, and this is how we react to these different aspects of the challenges that we face on a daily basis, like of that Bibi Hajra in terms of trust and patience. So it's a very exciting and unique opportunity, and imagine Allah has given the honor of a woman to remain with us until the day of Qiyamah in terms of our challenges in our daily lives. You know, the highlights of Hajj, as you know, the pinnacle of Hajj is to be presenting oneself on the day of Arafat. Those who have been there know what I'm talking about. But it is a day where the heavens meet earth. It is a time when the pilgrim or the Hujjaj supplicates to Allah Ta'ala subhanahu wa ta'ala to such an extent asking for his forgiveness, just as Adam alayhi salam was asking forgiveness in terms of the wrong that he had performed. So the climax is love, compassion and mercy and forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it is during this waquf period, alhamdulillah, and this is what I sincerely request people who are going for Hajj, that we somehow tend to forget to recite the farewell sermon of Muhammad alayhi salam. That last verse that was revealed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala there. Believe it or not, my dear brothers and sisters, when you try and recite that sermon on the day of Arafat, you are taken into a different dimension. Experience it and you'll see what happens. You're taken into a different dimension where you feel the presence of the angels. You feel as if you're experiencing Allah and Allah at higher and higher levels. And lastly, you get the beautiful breeze of love, compassion and mercy of the personality of Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, And all that is left is ummati, ummati, ummati. So the pilgrim is guaranteed forgiveness, and he's given a new life, his rebirth now to be a different person, both purity, he gains the title of not Haji, but a title of purity based on thought, word and action. So he leaves Arafat with the understanding that he is forgiven by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, guaranteed. But the Hajj doesn't end there. What happens after that? So that's the important thing that we tend to forget. And we get bogged down in the rituals. So that is Arafat, which is the height of the climax of this thing, of the 5 days of Hajj. Then, before you present yourself again to express your love and attachment to Allah subhanahu, when you go to the Kaaba, you have to cast off all those evil tendencies that you have been harboring all your life. You are collecting those 7, I talk about bullets, at Muzdalifah, and you cast it at Mina, casting it and hitting it to yourself. This is the thing. You are hitting it to yourself so that you now are trying to relieve yourself from all these vices which you have been harboring over the years, so to speak. So casting away the inner dimensions within yourself. What can I say of Medina? What can you say of Medina? The source of all grace and blessings is Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Unfortunately, what happens is that we again get down bogged in the rituals in Medina itself. When you enter in Medina, Medina is welcoming you with Tala al-Badru. And if you can recite and remember that, again you go into a different dimension altogether. You feel the breeze of Allah's beloved Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. It caresses you, it penetrates your heart with peace and tranquility, which you tend to carry while you're in Medina. So that's the beauty part of, and that breeze carries you to the feet of Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, where you present yourself by greeting him, so to speak. But the important thing is you are at the feet of Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. It is here where you have to develop a living, dynamic and vibrant relationship with the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. You have to cultivate and develop a personal contact with him, spiritual contact with him, and spiritual love. And how that is done is when you're sending salat and salam to Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam as often, as much as possible, with devotion and concentration of thought. The greater the devotion, the richer is the purification, spiritual purification. The richer the spiritual purification, the more sublime is the purity of motive in moral action. So this is Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. We cannot be bogged down in Medina, but importantly you have to read your salah. That's by the way, put that away. What relationship are you trying to establish so that you can carry it back with you? And you know, Allah mentions there's a beautiful hadith that actually captivated me a few days ago in Sahih Bukhari, I think it's 1883, where Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam says that Medina is like a furnace. It removes all the impurities that are within you. And those who have goodness, they reach the height of perfection. To the mercy of Allah, Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. So this is Medina. And as I said, that you have to establish a spiritual fellowship with him. And this spiritual fellowship is such that it is real, it is dynamic, it is vibrant, and it is consequential. It is not a mere idea. Just as a piece of iron that gets closer to the magnet and is magnetized, believe it or not, you will be magnetized with the greatness and the love of Muhammad alayhi salatu at higher and higher levels. So that when you leave Medina, it is just a talk between you and the lover and the beloved. So this is what Medina is and what one needs to do in terms of the inner spiritual dimension. Now, what happens after Hajj? We come back with this, we carry this titles with us. But most important, what I want to mention, that we, the Hajjis, and those who have gone for Umrah, need to be beacons of light to the fellow Muslims, well and good. But what about the other communities? Towards truth, absolute justice, beauty, love, compassion. So much so that the future of Islam in this country will be one of glory, greatness, and guidance for all mankind.
Jazakallah khair, Prof, for that profound words. Allah take us for Hajj, those that have been for Hajj, and accept those that haven't been for Hajj, Allah take them over and over again.